Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the first episode of our podcast, Young and Curious. My name is Mark Hollow, and I'm here joined by my co-host. His name is
Tommy Merlin.
Tommy. So today, since it is our first podcast and we don't really have much experience, we're just kind of going to talk whatever we really think about. Mostly, well, we're going to start off with some politics, right? There's a lot of controversy in the media, especially with what's going on with the president of the Venezuela. We did kidnap the guy, kind of like in the dead of the night from his own house in his own country. So, yeah, what do you think about that?
Well, I think it's been long awaited. You know, this Maduro figure, he has been doing illegal drug trafficking, illegitimate votes in the elections.
Right.
He's accused of human rights abuse and corruption. So, I mean, it might be not necessarily 100% legal for us to go in there and seize him, but the U.S. did, they did convert an operation. Right. I think it was a bunch of 24-year-old men, and in under an hour, seized that man and took him into custody.
There is talks that they were actually listening to Love Sosa by Chief Keef.
I did hear about that. Can we get a fact check on that?
I would love a fact check on that. But Maduro has been portrayed by the media as a dictator, as an evil dictator in the Venezuelan government, and just how he ruled the country. And I personally don't have a lot of insights, but I just know that other than the drug trafficking that he's allegedly, I don't know if it's even alleged anymore. I think it's pretty confirmed that he's been a part of. I think the main reason that the U.S. wanted him gone is because of oil. I mean, Venezuela, I'm pretty sure they're like the number one oil resource country, and
we are.
But yeah, I think their lands have the most oil in the whole world. So I mean, yeah, there's a lot of money to be made there. So and if we know something about Trump, that he knows the value of money and how to make it. So yeah,
sure, businessman at its finest.
Exactly.
I do like how I think it was more carried out in a way of they were just waiting to pounce on Maduro, because we've known that they'd had the oil, and the oil's kind of just our main subject, our main target, and all that corruption and stuff he was involved in was a reason to go get him. And so for the public, that's what headlines were. Obviously, a few days after, which is today. Now there's headlines more about the oil, but at first glance it was just about him and all of his illegal actions. I think it might not be the fairest, but nothing's fair in this world. But I mean, if it's gonna benefit me, I don't mind at all.
Well, even that does sound very narcissistic, I would say. But
well, I mean, even the Venezuela people are celebrating the streets. They didn't like their president either.
But this is kind of this is probably a throwback for the Venezuelan people. I feel like. I don't know if you know much about this, but around 20 years ago, Bush also kidnapped...
He did 9/11?
No. Oh. No, that's not what I was going to talk about.
That was like 20 years ago.
No, that was something. But Bush also... Well, it was when Bush was president of the United States that their president, I think his name was Hugo Chavez, he actually got kidnapped by a bunch of Venezuelan people, and they literally took him to an island, dude. Like, they literally grabbed him.
I've been to an island.
Alright, let's stop. But he so like this is kind of a deja vu, I guess, for the Venezuelan population, because they've had this happen to them before. But with Hugo Chavez, they actually rose against the people who kidnapped him to have Hugo Chavez come back. So
did they?
Yeah, they did. But I think Maduro is a different case, because I don't think he was loved by the people in Venezuela. So I think we did kind of do them a favor, because Maduro, ultimately, he was a drug dealer, and he was bringing illegal drugs into the United States.
Yeah, I mean, not to be stereotypical, but I mean, that just sounds like, what they would be doing over there. Maybe, I think it honestly might be a good thing now that for the temporary time we're kind of controlling Venezuela. Right. We might be taking their oil, but they have other bigger problems to worry about, I feel.
But what would you think would happen, or what would you think the American people's reaction would have been if this happened to Trump? if Putin just pulled up with a bunch of people.
I think World War III would have already been active at the moment.
Right.
Something about Trump is he doesn't fuck around. If you do something to us, you're going to get there's going to be retaliation within 24 hours, I believe.
Right.
I can't imagine that happening. I mean, it will one day happen.
Speaking of Trump,
I know that guy.
Speaking of Trump, I would like to deviate from this Venezuela topic and kind of talk about something that's that's been all over the news for the past 10 years now, I feel like. The Epstein files.
Oh.
What do you think, or maybe what are your takes on that topic?
On Epstein or on Trump's part?
Trump in relation to Epstein, and then we could talk about Epstein.
I think, you want my honest take?
Yeah.
I think as a younger businessman with a lot of money and you have a lot of connections, I feel, you're going to be out at these parties, you're going to be connected with these kind of people.
Right.
And so, at first glance, Trump partaking in it might not be the worst thing. After, allegations came out and photo evidence of things that were being done on the island, my opinion changes a little bit, but at the same time, when you have a lot of money, and back then there wasn't a lot of social media and publicity, it wasn't even that long ago.
I feel like the main reason Trump is kind of frowned upon when it comes to these files and everything that's been published and everything that's been accused of him, I think the only reason why he's frowned upon is because he's the president of the United States now for the second term. If he never was the leader of our country, he would never have received this backlash. Because if you're a multimillionaire and you're young, you have so much money, and your friend says, "Yo, let's go to my private island. I have these good-looking girls and a lot of a lot of stuff that you could do." Who would turn that experience down, right? I know I wouldn't. Would you, Tommy?
It's debatable, but
no, you wouldn't.
Honestly, what really strikes me about this whole Epstein situation is how did Epstein get his money? Because he wasn't necessarily a wealthy individual his whole life.
So there's a conspiracy that he wasn't a millionaire, or he wasn't a multi-billionaire or whatever. He wasn't like this crazy rich guy. He was actually an FBI agent that became friends with all these rich people, and he got them there so he could incriminate them.
That is a good theory. Based off of the knowledge I have about him, though, he gained his money from. He worked on a lot of private equity and private firms, and he was actually an executive for. I think his name was Les Warner. Les Wexner, and he is the owner of the creator of Victoria's Secret.
Okay.
And so he got his money through through working with bigger, high-profile individuals, and kind of not commissioned, but got paid depending on how much the person made. Mm. So again, when you have a high-profile status like that, and you're working with high-profile people, you're gonna be involved with what they're involved in.
Right. I
wish I was invited. Yeah.
I feel like such riches and everything can't come without controversy and media 100%. Backlash. So if you're a multi-billionaire, like it or not, you're gonna do some things that people would perceive as bad. I
100% agree. That kind of goes with Trump. He's been pretty wealthy his whole life. Everyone kind of liked him. And then he decided to run and kind of thought, he was the shit. He thought he was the boss. Everyone didn't like that. No one liked somebody just randomly coming in that already had money through his father, has hotels, has all this success in business, and be like, yo, now I'm going to run for president. They didn't like that. So most people don't like Trump just because of his attitude, which I can understand, but those people must be weak-minded, in my opinion.
If you are listening to this podcast, it would be the first time because this is our first episode, but you would think that we are Trump glazers because we have been talking a lot about it. However, I do think that there is a lot of things wrong with Trump. I don't think he's the perfect guy to lead our country, but I also don't think anyone is perfect.
That's true.
So with that being said, I think he is the best option that we've had in years. especially with the run that Biden had as president. I thought that was horrific, and the whole country just went into a major decline.
Yeah.
So, however, I will criticize Trump about his policies on illegal immigration. I get it; it's illegal.
Well, I understand why you would say that.
But, however, I think it's pretty inhumane to kind of just grab people off the street and just and put them in vans. I feel like that's what you do with stray dogs and stuff. You don't do that with humans. But that's just my opinion. However, what do you think about?
That is true. Well, I mean, I'm gonna revert back to you. What do you think about his impeachment? He was accused of, I think, tens of dozens of felonies. What do you think about those?
What were the felonies?
Off the top of my head, I don't necessarily know. I think a couple of them had to do with, I know he was convicted of 34 felonies with business related. I mean, a lot of it was with hush money,
Every businessman that has reached those levels of money,
I agree,
has done some iffy stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, like money like that doesn't just come without doing some things behind the scenes. So yeah, like obviously he's done some things. I think all is fair in love, war, and business. so yeah,
yeah,
that's the way I see it. So yeah,
many of those felonies were about his 2016 election run. About
he didn't get the majority vote that year. He didn't like Hillary got the majority vote. He just got the election or the.
Well, yeah, I mean he was falsely claiming stuff he didn't on his taxes, and people are just saying he rigged it then and there. I like this one part in the 2016 debate where Trump said, or Hillary said, "Why don't you go after these people? Like, would you go after these people?
Right.
Like, what would you do?" He was like, "I would," and then he goes, "Why wouldn't you?" She goes, "I am." And then he goes, "No, you're not, because your shareholders are doing the exact same thing." Meaning that she was also putting money into the wrong places to try to win over the election. So, I mean, I feel like anyone would do it in that situation if you have the money and power. Is it fair to the rest of the civilians on the ground not being able to do anything? No. But they were regular civilians too. Yeah. You could get to that point if you wanted to or had to.
Right.
I mean, it's not.
I feel like if you figure out a loophole and a way around something, and I don't care if it gives you an unfair advantage. Life is unfair. Take it. I don't care about that. So yeah, that's my take on it.
What do you think about the system? Do you think it's broken, or do you think people are just lazy?
I think the system is designed to keep people lazy. I think the system is designed to keep the middle class just running and not progressing, and just being the middle class, being average and mediocre, and to keep the 1%. The 1%. That is how I see it, and I mean the system is obviously designed by the rich. So again, if I was a part of 1%, I would do the same thing. So do I think it's unfair? Again, yes, but if someone dares to question the system and dares to break that barrier that keeps the middle class from the 1%, I think that's very doable. Like we see success stories everywhere online. So yeah,
it's true. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. One thing I actually read a while ago, it said, when the slaves were freed, they when they were slaves, they had housing and they got food.
Right.
But they had to do obviously labor work,
right.
And were not getting paid. So once they abolished slavery, the slaves were like, oh, well, where are we going to live now? Where are we going to get food? And so they created a system saying, we'll house you, we'll feed you, but you got to go here and do this work, but we'll pay you. But they paid only enough for the rent and for what the food would cost to keep them in a never-ending cycle. And I'm not going to lie, as terrible as it sounds, it's almost like the rat race and the Matrix, people call it. Without those people, the world would not run. I mean, you think of a garbage man as the worst jobs in the world. What if nobody picked up your garbage?
Right.
It'd be sitting there in front of your house. What if there was no electricians or plumbers or anything like that. I mean, these shittier jobs, these people that have to, do that, they sacrifice so you could have a little bit more of a
Again, when we say this, by the way, this might be taken out of context. Obviously, the people that are doing these jobs, like the garbage man, even though that is kind of viewed as the worst job to have, really, in most cases, that's still way better than being a slave. Obviously, we're just using we're just using the word slave as a comparison to draw parallels when it comes to the way of living life. You kind of just work, go home, go sleep, wake up, work again. Yeah, we're obviously okay. Yes. By the way, since we were talking about Trump and you brought up slavery, did you see that one clip where he said no one has done more about the African American community in the USA other than President Donald Trump, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln?
Yeah, I have seen that. Yes.
If you didn't know, Abraham Lincoln literally freed the slaves, and
so possible exemption.
Possible, not like 100% exception. But yeah, I thought that was hilarious.
Yeah, that was a great use of word choice there. I love that. As people don't like him and everything, and this is the last thing I'll say about him is he is very funny. He's very straight up.
He knows how to get attention.
Yeah, and he's very straight. I mean, again, he's a businessman. He was a businessman before he was into politics. There's interviews about him saying he would never run for president, and here we are. I mean, he changed, but one thing that didn't change is his attitude and mindset, and his ability to make money and have that kind of power. And I understand why people don't like that, but that could be you too. So. Right. And that comes down just to if the system's broken or not. Like Harold said, I think it is designed for people to be, kind of stuck in a race, but that's why you have to be, the odd one out of the group and find your way out. And you will fail a few times, but that's the whole point. I mean, some people's worst case scenario is your daily life.
Well, you said that's the last thing you wanted to say about Trump, but I also wanted to bring up that I'm pretty sure is contracted, I think, with the UFC, that he will allow a UFC event happen at the White House. And me and Tommy are big fans of the UFC. We watch a lot of fights and everything like that. We're big fight fans. Not just UFC, by the way. We love boxing too. But what do you think of that? Are you excited for a UFC event to happen at the White House, and what do you think the magnitude of that?
Yeah, it's getting a lot of criticism, as it could. It makes sense that it gets criticism, but at the end of the day, we're all people, and Trump is a fan, and so I don't see a terrible problem with it. Exactly. Obviously, there's going to be security. I don't think anything wrong is going to happen. It is on the 4th of July, and this year marks the 250th anniversary of the country. So he's honestly dabbling into his own hobbies and his political standpoint and combining them into one. Right. He's going to make a big public event. I see nothing wrong with that. He has the ability to do it. There's no harm in it. Exactly. It creates publicity. It's entertainment. People get paid. And it's a dream come true for some people. So
I'm pretty sure
I'm very happy to see that.
I saw something that said that a lot of the profit from that event is going to go to charity. So I feel like, and honestly, even if it didn't, I don't see anything wrong with it. I think anything that brings more eyes to, as a fan of the UFC and just fighting in general and just mixed martial arts, I think anything that would bring eyes to the sport is a good thing.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. Again, I don't really see a problem with it.
Conor McGregor is projected to be on the card.
Conor McGregor is going to be at that fight. And one thing I like about this UFC fight, or this White House fight, is that it's a lot of super fights. It's a lot of good fight. Right. I mean, every fight is almost like would be a main card event. It's going to be most likely Conor versus Chandler, and then we have Islam versus
Ilya.
Ilya.
You think that's actually going to happen?
I feel if the other ones would happen, this one is going to happen.
But Islam right now is like 30 pounds heavier than Ilya. And
he's
Ilya,
got a few months.
Yeah, and I don't know if you saw this, but Ilya is he's actually like inactive right now. He's dealing with some personal stuff. I think his wife and him are having a divorce or something. I think, and that is why there is an interim fight. Patty the Pimblett versus Justin Gaethje actually.
Yeah. I know this really famous line by Justin. I forget what it is. I think I should say that on the podcast.
Not on the first episode.
If you know, you know.
We'll save it. How about this? If this podcast gets some comments, if a comment says, "Yo, reveal the line," we'll say it next episode.
Of course.
But yeah, it is a pretty famous line from Justin Gaethje.
Jones versus Pereira.
Apparently.
Again, I think if one of them is going to happen, they're all going to happen because I know Pereira...
It doesn't get bigger than the White House.
I know Pereira and Jones are both down for that. They just have to meet weight. I know Conor and Chandler have been waiting for this fight for years. They're both... That's probably the most
anticipated fight.
Yeah, and then...
Mostly because of Conor. Conor's just a superstar.
And then Islam and Ilya. I mean, a lot of people are saying Ilya's going to come back, stronger, better because of personal issues. He's going to train really hard. And so a lot of people say, like, this is his chance to kind of just show everybody, that maybe the wife's missing out. She took the kids, I heard. But
really?
Yeah.
Damn.
So, I mean, who knows? It'd be kind of... I'd be bummed out if, he took that personal time and didn't fight for a while. Because that... I mean, again, I can't imagine what he's going through. But, a lot of people say work gets you through some things. And his kind of line of work was once his dream. So I can't imagine why he wouldn't do it. And work hard and train.
Right. I actually remember this clip. I don't know what streamer it was. I think it was one of the Nelk boys that was streaming with Ilya, and they were at his gym, and he told him that he met his wife in Miami.
I did see that.
and I don't know which one it was, but he goes, "Oh, so everyone knows now that you can meet your wife in Miami. It's not just girls that you can't really marry in Miami." So, and I remember Ilya was pretty pissed off at that actually, but I guess it backfired on him. I don't know.
There's it actually just happened today. Just to quickly avert, because I just got the news. A woman in Minneapolis allegedly tried to kill a couple ICE agents in the snow.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're calling it a possible act of domestic terrorism. Apparently,
is it Minneapolis?
An agent shot her.
Oh. Is it Minneapolis where like the daycare stuff was happening? Or is that Minnesota?
It's Minnesota. I mean, we could talk about that.
Let's dive into that real quick. I don't know much about it. I know that you have done your research on that. I did see this one video though. It was by Tyler Oliveira on YouTube. He's actually really good. His videos are awesome. He actually went to Minnesota and he found a bunch of Somali people and was trying to talk to them. None of them spoke English. There was signs in Somalian or whatever their language is, and I do see a lot wrong with that. I think if you're coming from a different country, you should try to introduce the culture and kind of like make yourself fit in to the American culture, instead of kind of not trying at all.
So, I mean, based off what I know about that situation is, again, these foreigners, let's just say, because, I mean, there's been a couple other cultures and groups, but have been opening daycares, and this has been going on for a while. It's just brought to our attention now, opening daycares around the United States, but mainly just they found a few in Minnesota claiming on their taxes, or claiming to the government once a year you claim how many children you are you're occupying, and then the government then funds you the money to, because again, a daycare it's funded by the government just like schools are, and so your tax dollars go to them, and so they claim they had like 100 kids, and this one young creator, I forget his name, I knew it the other day. He went there, and in the middle of the day, and this was before Christmas, it was like a normal Tuesday, and he was just like, "Where are the kids?" And they're just like, "Oh, they're not here right now." And again, she barely spoke English, but she was like, "They're not here." He was like, "Okay, well, I have my son Jack. I want to register him. Like, where's the paperwork?" And she's just like standing there because I don't think she understands him fully. He's like, "I'm trying to get little Jack here. Like, how could I go about that?" And she's just like, "No, like, just have a good day," and completely told him off. So.
Right.
And then I saw another guy. They go to these daycares, and there's just no children. They're just falsely claiming there's.
You know what they're doing with this money that they're getting? they're sending it back to Somalia.
That is true.
They are because by the way, for insight, Somalia is a terrible. It's a terrible country to live in. Honestly, from what I've seen, at least, it's very poor. A lot of people are. Again, it's very unfortunate that people are born to live in these kind of countries and they're not provided a good opportunity to kind of live life to the level that other or people in the United States are permitted by just being born here. But I don't think that's an excuse for people to come here, steal literally millions from taxpayers' money, and just send it back again.
No, I completely agree. Actually, I'm reading it here now. The state legislation of Minnesota and other states haven't done anything, but the federal government has. Trump's legislation froze over $10 billion in federal child care and family assistance funds for Minnesota and other Democratic-led states. So ever since those videos have been out, the states haven't really been doing anything for legal action, but Trump froze a bunch of money in order to kind of slow that money down. And I don't know if this is specified, but these daycares are bringing in between $1 and $4 million a year for falsely claiming kids on their taxes.
That's ridiculous amounts.
Would I do it? Is that what you asked me?
Yeah. Would you do that?
Yes.
I'm actually shocked that this method didn't just come around a while ago, because it seems so simple, honestly.
Yeah, well, it was around in 2021. Really? That's when and it goes back. This guy brought up their records. They received 600,000 in 2021. 2022 it went up to 800 and just kept going up until 2025. So I think the last few years they tried it, maybe saying they occupy 30 kids and they got the money. They're like, all right, let's say we brought in more kids. So the last few years, it's really been bringing up, but it's been in the millions from 2024 to 2025.
Wow.
Earlier years was a couple 100,000. I think they were just in the testing phase, maybe. But it's definitely wrong, and it's terrible to say. They hopefully they'll get prosecuted or something. It's terrible to say, but in a world where if you have some family over here and you have a poor family in a poor country and you need money to send them over, and you're risking your own free life, sometimes you gotta just do stuff the way you do it. Those people here might be prosecuted, but those people in Somalia for the time probably lived a little bit better. Yeah. And it's wrong, but it's right to others. So that's all I can say about it. It's not completely right or wrong. But
the best way I could put it, honestly, is the game's the game. If
it's true.
You just gotta charge it, honestly. But again, money. Do you feel like money sometimes doesn't really feel real to you?
I know money is not real. It is not. It's all perception. The same way if I was charging you $5,000 for a course that to make you $10,000 a month, right? Yeah. You would probably say $5,000 is a lot of money. Yeah. And then I would say, well, compared to what? A $5,000 dinner is very expensive, but is a $5,000 car expensive? No. It's all about your perception, what value. So, yeah, you're paying $5,000 for this course, but look at the value you're getting out of it. You'll be able to make $15,000 to $20,000 a month. So I don't think, obviously money is real. It's right in front of me. It's paper. But the perception of it just depends on, who you are and what you've had in life. Right. A poor person will look at money greater than a rich person would, and so it's not necessarily real, because once you realize that, you can find ways to get it without. How do I word this?
Do you feel like the only type of money, the only type of way to really make money nowadays is internet money, making it online?
Well, yeah, great money, yes. If you want to become rich, not necessarily quick, but as time goes on, internet money is kind of where it's at right now. You could go old school and be in private equity. You can, start a business and build your way up. I know a few people that in the 90s have built businesses and they're millionaires today. And you could do that nowadays, but since it's all social media based and internet based, you're going to have to use more internet and social media.
Right.
For example, John Basiliga started a roofing company when he was 21 in the mid-90s, and he made his roofing company, and it's in the 13 colonies now. It's very successful. Now he also does real estate. He does hospitality. He owns care homes. He owns movie theaters and the mall and everything. He branched out. But in the 90s, when he first started his roofing company, there was no internet. And so he just had to be good at one skill and then kind of provide that skill. And I think that's also a very good thing, good way to make money. You need to provide a service. You know, I mean, unless you have some like a really great product that not everyone needs, then it'll hit. But if you provide a service, then and people can come to you, you're guaranteed to win. If
another big thing that you kind of touched upon, but didn't really mention is again, you said at first it wasn't internet. When John, you said, started his company, there was no internet. And then the internet came along and he had to adapt. I think adaptation and kind of adapting to the ways of the world, really, and just making it more convenient for your customer is really a key factor of how to make money. Again, people listening to this might think we're money experts or whatever. We're not. No, you're not. But we do a lot of research when it comes to these topics, by the way. So that's why we decided to start a podcast in the first place. And but so what do you think are some of the biggest business forms that will kind of take over in the next 10, 20 years? And what services?
Yeah, no. A couple that come off the top of my head is, I mean, right now that's going around as AI receptionist. It's basically a 24-hour, AI receptionist. So say you work at a doctor's office, there's a lot of scheduling behind a doctor's office, and there has to be a secretary there. There's new AI receptionists out there that take calls even after hours, or the AI will automatically book you into the calendar and not a real person has to do it. That's blowing up right now. I think for the next, maybe from 3 to 5 years ago, I'll say from 2020 to 2040, creating ads is going to be a very big thing. I feel not that it's saturated, but
don't you think creating ads could just be AI automated?
Yeah, that's why I'm only giving it to 2040 with people still making a lot of money from it. I think AI is going to take a lot of things over.
Right.
And a lot of people say that's a bad thing, but I mean, if those are the same people that are complaining about their job, I don't want to be a secretary. I don't want to sit here and make calls all day. But then you're complaining when AI is trying to take your job. I mean, I get it. You're losing, your job, but you're making the world better. And so, just digital marketing in its fullest when it comes to AI and marketing on social media. Social media is big. It's only going to get bigger. I really can't see the outcome how social media is going to be handled in the next 15 years, because from the increase to 2016 to 2026 right now, last 10 years, social media has made an insane skyrocket in every area, whether it comes to business or entertainment, everything.
Speaking of social media, I like what you said there. You said social media is huge or big and is only going to get bigger. Right. So, do you feel like social media just takes too much time out of kind of everyone's day? Like doom scrolling. I'm guilty of it. I know you're guilty. I'm pretty sure I send you 20 Instagram reels a day, 20, 30 TikToks a day. Do you think doom scrolling is just a bad way to spend your time? I know a lot of people just want to are bored and just want to kill time most of the time. That's why they doom scroll. But do you think that's kind of holding them back?
100%.
Especially the younger generation too, by the way.
Yeah, I mean it's two different aspects. If you're too much on social media, but your job is to monetize someone's social media. But if you're just sitting there doom scrolling, I think that is bad for you. Me, myself, obviously I have a few videos that are not of importance and kind of brain rot, but I've kind of tailored my Instagram and TikTok to kind of just give me facts or stuff about the politics or stuff about AI, just anything that's kind of happening in the world today rather than watching the news. Because honestly, I think if you watch any kind of news station on live TV, I don't know if you noticed this, they always name the bad stuff and talk about the bad stuff first and say the good stuff at the end. And I've actually read this a couple of years ago. In Canada, they do the complete opposite. They say all the good news in the beginning and all the bad news at the end. But when it comes to American news, as soon as that news comes on, they talk about terrorist attack, whatever bad has happened, they talk about that first off rip.
I feel like it's only bad news when it comes to America, honestly. Like, rarely do you see... I feel like the only good news that you see on American TV, at least, is it's probably like during holidays or something. It would be like, oh, Christmas, New Year, Thanksgiving. But yeah, like, I don't think there's a lot of positivity being spread from the media. Well, again, they want to get their traction, they want to get their money up, but again, they're sacrificing the good news to reach this.
Oh yeah, 100%, and especially with like, it all comes down to perception too, and just how they frame it. Framing is a big thing when it comes to a lot of aspects of life, but framing stuff differently is where we go wrong. Because, I mean, it all go back to this. You know, we took a lot of oil, all their oil from Venezuela,
right?
And Americans are complaining. But yet they complain about gas prices.
Exactly.
If Venezuela took our gas, we'd be complaining.
Right.
We take their gas, we're complaining. I mean, it may not be right, but how about you be happy for something?
For some, yeah.
Or for your side. You know what I mean? But of course, the news is going to frame it that Trump or whoever is a bad person for doing this. But those same people are, you know...
I feel like everything in the history of humanity has been taken by force, and it's never good. We can try to make ourselves look like good humans all we want. Like, we could try to be we could be nice to other countries, but at the end of the day, it is human nature to just take the strong guy takes from the weaker guy.
Yeah.
When you boil it down to like its purest form, I feel like in schools, I mean, yeah, the strong bully, the big bad bully is always going to take the weak kids' lunch money, no matter what happens, because that's just human nature, and we just have to accept it. I think, in my opinion, at least. Yes, you can feel sympathetic for the Venezuelan people, for us literally kind of taking oil from them.
Even they're happy
for relatively free. Honestly, I would say free, even though it's not like we're just giving them very little. But when it comes to the American citizens, I don't see why they're complaining when I mean, we've been complaining about gas prices since 2019, really.
Yeah, seriously.
So I mean, yeah, I'm not gonna mind some cheaper gas prices.
Yeah, I don't know. I just think the whole situation's crazy. I think they just like to talk bad, no matter what. I mean, like, if you look at all the people complaining, whether we took it or whether they took it from us, it's always, like you said with the bully, it's always those weaker people.
Right.
You never see the stronger, bigger, upper hand people complaining.
Right.
And that's because they've learned, whether it's through discipline or through life lessons, that, you know, we got to take what we got and do what we got to do to survive. It's always the low IQ, you know, weaker-minded people that sit there and complain, but will never do anything to change anything.
Right.
Because realistically, if you were I love the professional TikTok politics in the comments. You know, they'll write paragraphs. If you're that deep into it, go into politics and get off TikTok.
Right. Like,
go actually do something about it.
Right.
But they just think that they're right and they're so close-minded, and it's bizarre to me.
Right.
These people, man.
Something else I wanted to talk about. It is kind of politics related, but I wouldn't say it's politics related as much as just social. It's just a social issue that a lot of people are facing. Mm-hmm. What do you think of transgender? Transgender. I don't know if it's like males that turn into females. Is that a transgender male or a transgender female?
Transgender female, I'd say.
Okay. So a male that turns into a female, going into women's sports.
I do not think that should be allowed. I mean, it's. I mean, I know life's unfair, but that's not even worth watching at that point. I mean, everything they're doing, it's like they're in bot lobbies. It's just, it's not. It's fake progress, fake achievements. Like, oh my God, I'm a 6 foot, 230 pound man beating women in a swim race. Like, that's not that cool. Like that's not that achievable or great.
I don't know if you saw this. For context, me and Tommy are big tennis fans, or we're more like tennis players. We don't really watch tennis, but Nick Kyrgios, they put him against the number one female in the world when it comes to tennis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nick Kyrgios is way past his prime, by the way. He used to be really good, but now he's not even in the top 1,000, I think. He's not ranked. He hasn't played like competitively in a while, and he's washed basically. So they put him against the number one female in the world. I forgot her name, because I don't know.
Serena Williams?
No, she's been retired for years now.
Okay.
But so what they did is they made the court smaller on her side and bigger on his side. So she had more space to hit the ball into, and he had less space to hit the ball into. So it was more difficult for him.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, he wept the floor with her.
Yeah. I actually saw this story with Serena. She said Serena Williams was the greatest at one point. She was very dominant. She was big. She was strong. And she said, ranked 200th men, random dude beat me. 6'0", 6'1", I think it was.
Yeah.
She's like, it's just a completely different biochemistry. It's a man versus a female. You know, that's something actually I want to talk about, because a lot of women want to get paid as much as men want to get paid, but they can't do what men do. And I understand where they're coming from, because they're human and we're human.
Yeah.
But there's certain things we're set to do and certain things they're set to do.
Right.
Like, we're the mechanics, plumbers, and electricians.
Right. I'm not saying that, by the way, we're not saying that women can't do those jobs. No.
I don't think they can do it as well. That's why men do it.
And I hate to go back to this, to Donald Trump, but there's a clip of him. I'm pretty sure is when he was running for presidency, and a journalist asked him, will I be paid the same as a man if you're in charge?
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
And he said, you'll be paid the same if you do as good a job. I think everyone is very talented in a certain thing, and there's a job for everyone in society and in the world, especially in 2026.
Mm-hmm.
It is the easiest it has ever been to live, literally in human history. So I think to if you're a woman, if you're a man, I'm not saying that you can't do certain jobs as well as, or you can't do certain jobs I don't want to say better than men, because there's certain jobs that I don't want to say never, because you never say never and all that, but there are certain jobs that are kind of designed for men, like the mechanics. Most mechanics are going to be men. Some of the best mechanics are always going to be men. There's going to be incredible women mechanics every now and then, but in majority, men, because mostly because you need to lift a lot of stuff. You're breaking your back, and that's just more of a manly job, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, again, I mean, it's kind of just like if you were, if you're looking at two jobs, right? If you want a massage, you'd hope it'd be a girl. Even if you're a girl, you'd hope for it to be a girl, right? And then if you called somebody to go fix your tire, either you'd call a girl or a man. Probably a man. So, not that, my real opinion is not that, they should be complaining like, we don't make as much money. But in most aspects, they do have it easier when it comes to labor work. And so, they are getting paid less because they're not doing as much labor work. Men do have higher testosterone. They can build more muscle. They're usually taller in frame, bigger in frame, and we're just stronger naturally. That's how we are, biologically. Yeah. And so, I think we're designed for two different sets of skills in life.
And by the way, I just want to mention that we are trying to just choose our words carefully and wisely.
I'm not.
Well,
my name's Tommy Merlin, and I'm a narcissist.
Okay. Well, we are trying to choose our words wisely and carefully because the last thing we want to do is be taking our words out of context, but we are also trying to be raw with our thoughts. We don't want to just hop on a podcast and just lie, even if no one watches it.
What's your take on Jeffrey Epstein?
My take on Jeffrey Epstein?
In a few sentences, like, do you think what he did was wrong?
I think the
let's get raw.
The stuff that he did with the little girls was very bad.
But do we have full proof of it? Like, yeah, we know children were
I don't know.
there.
I honestly,
but...
I think I'm not educated enough to determine whether that he 100% did. But if he did, that is 100% wrong.
Do you think he killed himself?
Ooh. Okay.
How it was played out was, I mean, obviously he was in jail for the accusations,
right.
And in 2019, the cameras that were on his cell just coincidentally just weren't working, and then they said he died, and they ruled it a suicide. A lot of people think somebody killed him, another inmate, and they shut off the cameras. Some people think it was an inside job, and that's why they shut off the cameras,
right.
Or he might have just committed suicide, or they let him out.
Well, let me throw back the conspiracy that I previously mentioned earlier. What if he was an FBI or agent that was there to kind of just get all these rich people to kind of come out of their shell and just get them in trouble, I guess. And then he got in trouble for all the bad stuff that he did, and the police kind of owed him a favor because he did it for them, right?
Yeah, that is true.
And what if they faked his death and he's still alive out there? Again, I think in any case scenario, I don't think he died. I don't think
he's alive?
I think Jeffrey Epstein is alive and breathing right now. Or not, but he did not die that day.
Shit.
He might have died after, but I don't think, in my opinion, he died that day because how convenient is it that
it's so convenient that people say it's real.
Right.
Like, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Exactly.
It's too fishy for me.
That's just the way I view it, though. If again, I might be being too conspiracy minded and just like trying to think outside the box too much, but it just doesn't make sense to me that someone of that importance is just allowed to kill himself, especially under police surveillance.
Yeah, how'd they do it, or how do you do it? I mean, I know my dad worked in a jail for a long time. The only way they can really kill themselves is with their bed sheets,
right,
and try to hang themselves,
right,
or strangle themselves. I've never heard that he committed suicide by strangulation or anything to do. Like, they never said like how he killed himself, just that he did.
And no offense to your father, but I don't think he worked at a prison of that much notoriety as Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Right? So I would assume that prison has a lot more surveillance and a lot more...
Exactly.
And a lesser chance of inmates just killing themselves.
Mm-hmm. No, well, I know this from... I remember seeing it when I was younger, when I went to the jail. Even at the Lackawanna one here, they have a camera.
You can't say the name.
I could say whatever I want. They have a camera in every cell. That's how it works.
Yeah.
So if they had one here, in this was a juvie. This was a juvenile detention center.
Right.
It wasn't even a full blown prison. It was just more of a jail. If you know the difference, you know the difference.
Right.
But so for one camera to be on Epstein that's expected, but there was multiple, and they all just went off. It's just weird. I don't buy it. And it's not that he was just like, a controversial, or it's not that he was just a famous man thrown in jail. He was a controversial famous man facing major allegations with other famous people.
Exactly.
And they were like, it's one of the biggest stories. In
his case is probably the biggest case since Nixon, other than obviously 9/11. But no, his case is probably the biggest because it kind of still is unsolved.
Yeah.
And especially if this guy just killed himself, there is nothing. There's nothing we can do to figure out what actually happened.
Right? I know, yeah.
Because if anyone knew what happened, it was him.
Right? Yeah, I mean, I agree. I saw actually on a TikTok about the Venezuela thing. Someone says, "See how we got so distracted from the Epstein files? Right. Every time Trump goes on for a press release or just for a news update or for something, if someone catches him and they give something a word, they always ask about the Epstein files and blah blah blah." And I know for a fact if he was never ever mentioned in them or seen with Jeffrey Epstein, they would not care about Jeffrey Epstein as much. It's mainly the Democrats just wanting to get dirt on Trump too, and so it's such a major thing. And I get it, I see that, and Trump has been pictured and there.
You think him and Clinton actually did like the bad stuff?
Well, actually, one thing
I don't want to say. Wait, let me rephrase that. Not the bad stuff. There's nothing bad or wrong about that. I just think it's wrong that.
No, I think it's gay. Dude, it's a podcast. We're our own
True. It is gay. It is gay, but again, nothing wrong with being gay, right?
Depends. It does depend.
Not if you're two of the biggest presidents of the 21st century, and
two males. Yes. I think it's bizarre. One thing I do want to note on that is AI has incredibly increased in efficiency and in looks in the last 2 years. Right. The last 600 some days. And not every day.
You remember that prank you did on me? You took a picture in front of my house, and I actually thought it was our other friend that I'm not.
AI generated a picture in front of this guy's house, in front of Mark's house, and he thought it was a real person, and it looked like a real person. It actually looked like our other friend, and it was just nuts because I had him tweaking for a little bit. But it's just insane how you could say one sentence and get exactly the picture you want. And the fact that 2 years ago it wasn't like that, or it looked a lot choppier, or it didn't look real, is insane to me. So, based on the Trump and Clinton thing, I believe this with a lot of the government things. If it comes out to the public now, they've been able to do it for a little bit.
Right.
And so those videos could be AI generated. They could be tampered with. They could not be 100% original. Just because they have an old look to it, because cameras weren't that good back then. Doesn't mean it's real. I can create a picture, and I can tell ChatGPT to, make it look old, dude, blah blah blah, and it'll look just like that. And I'm just a normal civilian, so imagine they probably have more advanced things that they aren't talking about. I'm sure they can deep fake photographs from the 1700s or something.
Well, since we're on the topic of AI, I do want to move on from the Jeffrey Epstein stuff, and I would like to move on to the use of AI.
Mm-hmm.
Again, we kind of touched on how it's so powerful and it can do so much, and the main thing that humans are mostly using it for are students are using it to cheat on homework, and people are using it to prank their friends and and taking pictures in front of their houses. So, do you think it's again underused or just misused, I guess?
Definitely misused. I mean, I use it every day, but for the right reasons, to know about news or to ask informational things.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's definitely getting misused online when talking about, the face swaps or something like that.
Right.
And just weird videos. It's definitely getting misused. And there are now some precautions. Like there's some prompts you can't type out with some certain people.
Right.
And I'm not going to lie, I always thought in the beginning, there's going to be some laws about it, but I think they're going to be able to batten down on what you could type in, and I don't think you're going to be able to type out some of the stuff. Like right now, I can't type out, say, a terrorist attack in New York, in ChatGPT, and it won't create it. So I think that's only going to get better, meaning it will be for better use. When it comes to schooling, though, I think they should use every resource they could.
Right.
I mean, school is not really that great anyways. It should teach you better things. I'm not really going to get into it, but
it goes back to the system thing. It's the school in general is just a part of the system that we previously mentioned. I think it's a great thing for when it comes to kind of learning the base information that every human should learn. Like, obviously everyone should know 2+2 and stuff like that. But there's a lot of things, especially like what I had to go through in high school, that I don't think I'll ever need ever again.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And it's that system's just not necessarily the greatest.
Right.
ChatGPT, though, I think in a way a lot of people might not like the way I put this, but AI is honestly what brings us closer to each other in humanity-wise, because or books, because you're one question away knowing anything that has ever been out there.
Right.
You could ask it anything and learn it right then and there, just like Google.
You know what I actually like saw on Impulsive yesterday. Mike actually was talking about how back in his day, Mike Malak, by the way, I don't know if you know, but he was talking about how back in his day when he was in school, people wouldn't let teachers wouldn't let their students use calculators because, like, in real life, you're not just gonna have a calculator on you, right?
Yeah, look at it.
And guess what? I have a calculator in my pocket every single day.
You have a phone, you have a calculator.
Right? I have a calculator. I have a literal, like, artificial intelligence that I could literally just a compass, everything. Yeah, like,
I don't know why people think that's a bad thing.
Exactly.
It makes life easier and more effective, more efficient.
Right.
I love the word efficient. Quicker with good results. I mean, AI makes life more efficient.
Exactly.
It could be misused, yeah, but if you use it the right way, again, I could know if I just type in Amelia Earhart history go. It's going to tell me all the history, everything that is known out there on Google, in books, everything. If you read one book about Amelia Earhart, there might be another book about Amelia Earhart that includes something that the other one didn't. But if you look it up on ChatGPT, it's going to tell you everything that publicly outsourced, whether it's a book online or in paper or on Google, on Wikipedia. It's going to collect all that data within seconds and give you the best kind of summary. That is so efficient. Right. And so that brings us closer as humans because we can know our history quicker. We can know our own inventions and creations and thoughts quicker. Like Nikola Tesla, we could know everything about these people and what they did within the matter of seconds. Yep. Some people are like, but why not just read books and we're using AI? Well, let's just not focus on that because that's not the main point. The main point is to know what, our history, and that's our quickest and most efficient way.
Yeah, and I feel like books sometimes can be misinterpreted. Again, AI can be misinterpreted too, but I feel like when you ask AI a question, it has an answer for you, whereas if you read a book and you want an answer, you have to go and find it in the book, which is obviously just a longer process. Efficiency, and it also goes back to the using AI the correct way. You can't just use AI for stupid stuff that you don't need, and then like expect it to do wonders for you. Obviously, you have to. It's a tool for you. It's not.
It's a tool.
It's not gonna like run your life and make it better, but it could if you know how to use it.
Right. Again, just don't misuse it. Use it as a tool. Use it as something that benefits you, not that is you. I see no problem with it.
Right.
Well, there is problems with it, but I personally see no problem with it.
Right.
How do you feel about the whole Charlie Kirk situation?
That is an interesting topic. Again, it's been like 4 months now. Again, I think he was a great young mind, potential future president. Honestly, he played all his cards right when it came to that. I guess, but I mean, it's just unfortunate. I think he was definitely just a good influence all around because what he did is he talked to people, and how much do you see that, like, especially someone of his intelligence. I think he was like very intelligent, very smart, very good to talk or to listen to at least, and I really wish I was one of the students that talked to him through his tours all around America. And I think what he did brought nothing but good to just the world.
Yeah. I mean, even if he was talking to the other political side, he was so respectful. He was so knowledgeable. He literally had an answer for everything. Yep. Some people didn't like that, but honestly, that's good that we have someone that knew the fact right then and there and didn't have to go look it up or say it wrong. He knew. And, I mean, it was great.
By the way, do I agree with all his political views? Absolutely not. I think no one's views are perfect. Yeah. Just like someone else might think that my views on something are not perfect. But when it came to politics, I think that's who I agreed with the most, I guess.
Yeah. No, I mean, again, he was a smart man. He knew what he was talking about. He was respectful. He created, Turning Point USA solely just to spread his positivity and word.
Right. I think it's a shame that with AI again, like it's getting so misused when it comes to him, dude. Like you just see so many memes, and then you have like literally his name is getting memed, which again I think sometimes it's funny.
It is, it is a little funny when it comes to like a shock to you when you're seeing it, but it's misused AI.
Right.
And I thought it was a clean cut, dry, kind of situation. But how do you feel about like the recent appearances and the way Erica Kirk talks and presents herself in interviews and things?
I think after her late husband's death, she should have just not pursued this kind of career. I guess I don't think she's using it. I don't think she is cut for that. I don't think when I listen to her, when I see her, I am moved in any sort of way, and I don't think anyone is really. I don't know. She's not her husband, and she just doesn't do. I don't know. Like she just doesn't. I don't know.
No, I agree.
I also don't want to throw
some shade at her.
Throw shade with her and JD Vance or whatever is going on. But
so now you're accusing her. And
I'm not. I don't think that's what's going on. But I think she's a grieving widow, and she shouldn't be the main focus of the whole American media, because a lot of the things that she says with emotion, and emotion can be misused, especially when it comes to the media. The media is terrible at capturing emotion the way that the person is trying to express it.
Yeah, no, again, I think honestly, if she was as moving, if she was always like this, why come we never heard from her when Charlie was speaking? No one even knew her when Charlie. I mean, like we knew he had a wife, but like she never publicly said anything. Was never really. Maybe I think she sat with him, or actually I don't even know. I think that was somebody else, but she never like she supported him, but was never like doing it with him.
Right.
And maybe she had her own career to focus on, but why is she coming out trying to be so political now, trying to say what's right and what's wrong? And she does have the the chance to stick up and give justice for her husband. Yeah. But sometimes now they're just asking her stuff that has nothing to do with his assassination. They're just
I think she has just too many eyes on her.
Yeah.
And there's just a lot of money to be made from her being on TV. And they are taking advantage of her, I think, and she doesn't really know what she's doing. Honestly.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah, that's just how I view it though.
Actually I saw a thing, they got divorced a few years ago, legally.
Did they get remarried?
No. They stayed together and whatever, but legally they got divorced a few years ago.
Why do you think that is?
A lot of people say because when he died, or money, like when you sign a prenup. So, just I don't know. Just I honestly I didn't read too much about it, but I just saw that
might be just fake.
Legally, I mean it's a theory. I don't know. Well, actually, I don't know. I saw a thing about it, so I don't know if it's a theory or if it was actually true. I'm not gonna lie. I think he had the most influence over the people as MLK did. I mean, no, not as. Well, he's the closest thing.
I think that's a stretch.
Well, who's second when it comes to him? It'd probably be Charlie Kirk, talking about political views. I mean, MLK was talking about civil rights and wanted rights for his people. They both got assassinated for speaking out their mind. Right. They both were very publicly known for that specific thing. And from MLK to now, there's only one name that comes to mind when I think of an activist like that speaking out about his political views, It has nothing to do with politics. Like MLK wasn't no president or anything.
Right.
Charlie Kirk wasn't. He wasn't a governor or anything. He was just a kid that started a business and a company, a charity, honestly, and said, "Yo, like I just want to speak my mind."
He built it all on his personality. Then I think that's what was so incredible.
And that's what MLK did. He he said, "I want to speak my mind." So yeah, he doesn't compare to MLK in the sense of influence on who was impacted more, because obviously civil rights is a bigger topic, but he is the next thing, I would think, like the next best thing. When you think of MLK, all right, go to the next person. Charlie Kirk got assassinated for speaking his mind and his political views. He didn't even fully agree with Trump all the time.
Right.
He wanted the Epstein files released.
Right.
So he was just a kid speaking his mind, and I think that was powerful. And for him to get assassinated was even more powerful. In the sense of people say it was planned.
You know who I actually think might be in danger of the same thing, honestly, and I feel terrible just saying this, but I really like Zoran Mamdani, and I think he's charismatic, like the people that you previously mentioned, like Kirk, like Trump, like MLK, and I think he has a way of connecting with people like the previous three have. But I would say Zoran is even better at connecting with people, especially during his campaign for New York City mayor. He connected with the people in such a different, in such a high level, to the point where you kind of had to vote for him. He was, especially out of the three candidates that there were, he was definitely the most fitting.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
I might not agree with everything, but he seems like he cares.
Right.
He wants to do it for the right. Quick subject change. How do you feel about gay people?
Okay. All right.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on it?
I think they have the right to be gay, dude. I don't know.
Yeah, no, but what is your view on it? Don't give me a political view. Give me your raw thought, your thought process behind it. Do you support them?
Yeah.
Why did you have to think about that?
Yeah.
But at some point, if it's too much.
No, I'll be honest with you. I wanted to think about it, so I don't sound gay while saying it. Is
that a bad thing if you sound gay?
No, I just don't want to. I just don't want to. I just don't want to sound gay. Dude.
Okay. No, I hear you. I mean, just to touch on that real quick. I don't mind gay people at all. I don't like it when, they make it their personality and they change their entire life. Like, I have two gay cousins. They're sisters. Very cool people, down to earth. I love them. They're Democrats, and I'm a Republican. So, and I love them though.
Right.
I grew up with them. Right. They're both gay. They changed their style to that.
Yeah. I will say though.
They're very cool.
I will say, however, I do not like, if I meet someone, right? I don't feel like one of the first sentences that they should tell me is, "Oh, I'm gay." Just like I would not go up to someone and be like, "Hey, my name's Mark. How you doing? I'm straight, by the way."
Yeah.
Like I just feel like giving them my sexual preference is just something not necessary. I feel like
if gay people say that, they're kind of looking to get something said back to them.
Right. Like, congrats. What do you want me to say? Like
the coolest gay people I know, I never knew they were gay. Off rip. I didn't know they were gay. But then there's some people you see with you could dye your hair, you can do whatever, but like a crazy hairstyle with bright pink hair.
If you have a hair that is 9 different colors, I don't think that's right.
Yeah, I mean, you're just looking for attention at that point. You're looking for someone to give you wandering eyes. Right. And then when they give you those eyes, you're going to you're going to give them an RBF. You're going to be like,
What's RBF?
Resting bitch face. You're just going to be like, if you don't want the attention, don't look like you want it. Again, the greatest gay people I know, I didn't know they were gay.
What's like a famous gay person that's like chill? Ellen, low-key.
The dude from How I Met Your Mother.
Oh,
he's a cool guy.
Harris.
You wouldn't think
he
gives off gay vibes in the show, but you wouldn't entirely think he's like gay.
Like the character he plays in the show is literally like a guy that literally like goes with a lot
of girls. Exactly.
And I never expected that Neil Patrick Harris would have been gay. But
or the man that played Leonard Snart and Michael Schofield.
Right.
He's gay.
Right. What's his name?
He's normal though. I forget his name.
Damn.
But he's people like that don't make it their personality post all about it. Actually, you know who Jeffree Star is?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is. I think. I don't think he's just gay. I think he wants to be transgender, or he is. He even said, I forget exactly what he said, but he was just like, I don't like people that like make it their personality and everything. He's like, I know I do, but he's like, I'm like genuine about it. I was on this whole thing 10 years ago. Like, this is actually me.
Right.
Other people are just following a trend, and for one of them, people to indulge in that, to say that about other people like that, kind of shows that some of them do, like, not fake it, but like look for attention and look for those views. And those are the people I do not, want to associate with. And they take it the wrong way, like, oh, is it because I like the same gender? I'm like,
and honestly, to a degree, yes. Yeah, I would say to a degree,
it wouldn't be like that if
not. But it's more that it's not that you are like that. It's because you're forcing me to like I don't know, to talk about that, and I don't want to. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like,
quick side, again, another side thing before we wrap it up here. Yeah. Do you know who Stevie Wonder is?
Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
Well, he was blind, right?
Do you think he was blind?
I don't know, honestly. I don't know much.
There is a lot of clips out there of like him at an award show, and he just grabs the mic. He knows where it is. He'll be like looking in a direction, like.
What if he just has a lot of spatial awareness?
Yeah, right, but there's just been a lot of I feel like it's easier to fake it back then than now, especially with cameras and just like critics on the internet. There's a lot of things where people are like, yo, he's not blind, like he's not. And then there's a lot of people saying, no, of course he's blind. He always just wears tinted glasses, but there's sometimes, someone's walking past him and he tapped him on the shoulder. I'm like, how the hell would you know that?
Spatial awareness.
But if someone's walking by,
you could just hear. And you know that theory where like if you lose one of your senses, like if you lose your vision,
the other one's heightened.
The other ones get like extremely, because you need. It's like I don't know.
It's real.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know why I said theory, but like if I just feel like even if I just close my eyes, I would if I heard someone walking past me, I would be.
Yeah, but to know exactly where their shoulder is, pats them on their shoulder.
Honestly, yeah.
I don't know. He's is he dead?
I don't think so.
Can you fact check this? Is he dead? Production team, is he dead? I don't know. He's
Stevie Wonder. No, he's alive. He's 75 years old.
Actually, before we wrap this up,
okay,
and we can't get into it deep.
Yeah.
O.J. Simpson, did he do it? Did he do it?
I mean,
if
he did, that's how he. There is a book on how he would have done it.
I'll say this: I'm very shocked that when he passed away, it wasn't written in his will that
he did it.
Yeah, because I've read a lot about him and I've watched a lot about him. I knew him from football too. He's a Hall of Fame football. He's great at football, professional athlete. He is the type to not really care. Yeah. So and he didn't. Like again, he'd make jokes about it. He'd do whatever. So I figured after he'd die, he'd just be like, "All right, I did it."
But I feel like if he knew that everyone knew. He knew that everyone didn't know, and to the point where I think he doesn't need to express that. He never needed to. But I also think if you did do that, that is something you would take to the grave, even if everyone knows that you did it. And he did take it to the grave.
A lot of people think it was his son and him. It was his son because his son has mental health problems. Right. And, they didn't grow up great. And OJ was kind of like abusive and stuff. And then the son retaliated because he found out his mother and that his name was Ron Coleman. They were having an affair. And so he went to go kill them both. OJ went there, saw what happened, and he was like, we got to get out of here and cover it up. And that's why OJ did the long chase in his white Ford Bronco on the highway. So all the attention, the news, the cops were on him just driving away while his son could like clean up, get an alibi, like do just like no attention on the son. Because nobody ever thought it'd be a son when they saw OJ speeding away, saying on the phone, saying he's going to kill myself, I loved her, blah, blah. Yeah. And so that's an interesting a lot of people think it was the son and OJ.
So I'm not very educated about this. What was the final like verdict? Like who was?
It wasn't him.
But who was it? Did
They
they ever
don't
get
know.
to the bottom
No.
of that?
No. I mean, it came down to, it was around 10 p.m. You know, OJ's wife was they lived about 3 miles away from each other. They were divorced. She was at her house, and she called her limo driver, Ron Coleman, to go get the glasses she left at a restaurant. When he came to the house to, give her the glasses, that's when everything happened. A lot of the neighbors heard, shouting, and the dog was barking, and, a lot of noises. And then she was found dead, there was a gate you open, and then there's a little path to the front door, right in front of the front door.
Right.
And he was found dead in the room. OJ's blood was there. His hat was there. One glove was there, and the other glove was found 3 miles behind his house. I mean, and his blood was there. His shoe print matched. The one because how people found out was,
and then they came to the conclusion that it wasn't him.
Well, listen. So then a dog came out and ran to a neighbor, and the neighbor followed the dog because they knew something was wrong, and the dog led them to the crime scene.
Okay.
But right before this kind of happened, an individual said they saw a 6 foot, 230-pound man walk across the driveway as it was happening. So right before they found out they got murdered, a man left the scene, and then OJ only lived a couple minutes away. OJ had a flight to Chicago that night, went to Chicago, called them when he landed. They're like, dude, your ex-wife was murdered. First thing he said was, who killed her? Not oh my God, not blah, blah, blah. So then he had to go back. He had to go back to,
right.
I think it was California. And then he had suspicion that they were going to arrest him, and he just started driving, and they started following him. He was like, I have a gun. I'm going to kill myself. I loved her. I can't live my life without her. Right. They found, fake makeup and disguise in his car and his passport. So they were thinking he was going to leave the country. And I think it was him. I mean, it kind of had to be.
And I think we're going to wrap it up there, right?
I suppose so.
Yeah, it's been incredible, honestly. I don't know. We're definitely gonna do a part or a second episode, and I don't know. Maybe at some point we'll invite some guests, some special guests onto the pod.
I have a guest. His name. I'm gonna say it.
Jeffrey Epstein.
I was gonna say Osama bin Laden.
Okay, but yeah. Thank you for tuning in. If you enjoyed it, like it or something. I don't know. But yeah, thank you. Young and
Curious.
Young and Curious out.